no longer retrieve the data you've lost. And among all these attacking groups, which were listed, 60% are pro-Russia. The remaining 40% include pro-Ukrainians, non-aligned, so we have a real conflict with a divide. So these are the main elements, and what I'd like to add is that there was a turning point in this conflict, but it's not only in Europe, because candidates such as Montenegro or Moldavia, candidate to become members of the EU, also experience a surge in such attacks. So in a nutshell, this is the conclusion of the reports, and feel free to download it. Thank you. So in the beginning of the war in Ukraine, we all received messages saying that we needed to be very vigilant because there might be attacks, and we realized that these attacks focused on Ukraine. We expected to be targeted, whether the private sector or public sector transport our electricity grid, and we expected it to be carried out by Russia to try and increase its influence, to intimidate them and prompt them to not support Ukraine. But in the end, this analysis did not come to fruition in France and elsewhere. So can you tell me about the ecosystem today? How does it work? And why is it so? So let's analyze the situation right now from the perspective of the victim. If we look at the French and European markets, we have end users, victims of phishing. We have businesses, small businesses, targets of ransomware. We have public organizations, which are victims of spying. We have NGOs, which fall victims of activists. And we see that all these organizations have different levels of maturity. So some do not have capabilities to protect themselves. This is what happened in 2021. One municipality fell victim of a malware, so it can have devastating effects. And then there is also a fragmented market with many players. And when we want to launch a program to remedy that, we have various platforms. We need to carry out an analysis. There are Stratintel feeds. It's difficult to compare them. Sometimes we can look at sources, but it's not necessarily the best thing to do. We need to look into how old information and data is, how relevant it is. So many complications, and then there is the language, the connector, and once you have all these elements, you need to ask yourself if you want to use SOC, SSI, Intel. So this raises many, many questions, and it's difficult to find the proper answer. And in terms of sovereignty, shall we share data at the national level, European level, or beyond? So we need a better structure. And for me, we need compromise. To illustrate what you say, Yvan, on data sharing and sovereignty, today, if you want to protect critical infrastructure, banks, institutions, whether in France or in Europe, you need data. And you need to create data. You need quality data. And you have to make sure that you have data regardless of the geopolitical situation. And also when there are attacks, sometimes we don't want to communicate on that. So we need to provide information on attacks and on the various contexts we have. Let's now transpose this example and give a better example. A few years back, there was an attack of an aeronautic group. So what happened is that there was a notification to explain what this attack was, and all the IT players started asking themselves whether they also had been victim of this attack. So the question was to know whether there were rebounds, and everyone was faced with the problem of the non-sharing of information. Everyone started to share information and ask questions. This is the worst-case scenario. So this is not an efficient situation. We are also losing relevance, and there's a lack of good data to be efficient. Yvan, you've been working for quite some time on this type of collaboration, and recently this led to the creation of a new platform, SCRED. Could you please tell us more about it? What is SCRED and its advantages? So SCRED wants to have basic foundations, common foundations, to increase our national resilience and to regulate the French cyber ecosystem. So we worked with 11 partners in Intel, such as Sequoia, Thales, in detection as well. Some of our partners focus on analyzing trends, mapping networks. We also work with platforms such as OpenCTI and anonymity networks to secure everything. And we work with 2 research institutes as well. So we brought all these players together around one project, and we decided to come up with an entire solution to remedy this problem. So it led to SCRED. When we started thinking about it, we wanted national networks able to clearly understand what happens, what is the situation. Basically, what I want is to have a weather forecast. I want to be able to say whether it's going to rain or it's going to be sunny, but in the field of cyber threats. So we want a system where we are able to share data with a network. We want to anticipate and predict trends with many files to analyze malwares so that we don't have to send these files to an American cloud. And we want French startups to be more resilient and to be all in one single network so that they can train their algorithms and so that we can better analyze suspicious files. We are also looking into more critical sectors, aeronautics, finance, banking, or we can focus on a topic, for example, COVID. So we are trying to create interest communities. We want knowledge, and there we use OpenCTI. This is a platform to be able to analyze threats, and we also want to focus on sovereignty. There we worked with Thales and Google to host one solution. So SCRED, this is connectors. This is a methodology. This will be a range of services, but more importantly, it will be data. There will be an open feed where you will be able to retrieve all relevant data, and you will be able to use it for SOCs, for detention mechanisms, especially for players who do not have all capabilities they need. So you announced the launch of the project. When will we be able to have these free of charge feeds? So what is the time frame? In 2023, we will have the core team, which will be functional, and as of 2024, we will start opening beta testers. They will have, it will be a tool to analyze threats. So we will open this beta testing program as of 2024. We will start creating communities and gain feedback. And in 2025, Q3, we want an operational, fully functional SCRED. With regard to our business model, we will have one common foundation with common tools, and then there will be a premium service so that companies can have more services. So now the question is, and my question is more specifically to Alexis, this is an interesting project. So how will it develop in your view? I think we have different steps. The first important element is that we are starting to create a collaboration platform to exchange data in a trusted fashion and to guarantee that the information given to a third party is controlled. We talked about many players of CTIs and detection, so they will bring about expertise, but what we want to guarantee is that information will be used properly and that our clients can provide relevant data to the benefit of their communities. So this is one cornerstone. This is what we want to begin with. Second, and we talked about it in our introduction, we want a platform to support European efforts. This won't be specifically a French initiative. We will have data from all over the globe, but it will start with the French community. We need to share this information with the entire European ecosystem. And to do this, there are two options. So we are at the beginning of the project, and France is a very mature country in terms of cyber environment. Once we will have done this in France, we will have made a huge leap forward. So I think that if we are able to do this in France, we'll be able to do it throughout Europe. But the question is whether we will be able to roll out the system in all European countries, or if we will replicate platforms like SCRED in other countries at the national level, which could then be managed by the EU Commission later on, over time. So it goes back to what Mr. Breton talked about yesterday with this digital firewall. We need to share information, but we shouldn't be naive. We need to have good governance, the good tools in order to do that. And this is the aim of SCRED. So this is what we could say about this platform. We now have 2 minutes left to take some questions. We cannot hear the question. So, question, are public authorities involved in the project, such as ANSSI and municipalities, ministries, because they are also victims of such attacks? Answer, yes, of course. ANSSI also sponsors the project and supports us. You need to understand that this initiative is also supported by businesses, but we need to collaborate with public authorities. There was a call to tender from the BPI, and this initiative is funded as well by public authorities. You said that SCRED will be based on sovereign cloud. What do you mean by that concretely? SCRED will be hosted in SANS, which is a trusted cloud, which will receive a label as such. SCRED is a consortium, a Thales consortium, so we are developing solutions. It will be hosted to be protected. So it will be hosted in a trusted cloud, a sovereign cloud, and we use this partner. So this is what this is the situation. I think we have another question. Hello everyone, thank you for your presentation. How do you intend to choose your interest choose your interest communities? Because you said that you would have different communities. So how do you intend to do so? We wanted at first to have 9 interest sectors, but it will be easy to create communities in any case on this platform. This is what we wanted from the beginning. We haven't chosen yet. We suggested 9 communities at first, but everything remains open right now. And when we talk about interest communities, we are talking about sectors, about themes. Do we have one more question? Thank you very much for your attention.